After 3 weeks away, we are finally back for CRL. My name is ILT Indigo. Joined alongside me tonight is the one and only, the Canadian, Bunnies.
Yeah, glad to be back. It's been a long 3 weeks without CRL, and of course for me even longer given I had to miss out on a couple of rounds of commentary, unfortunately, but we are back here in Las Vegas. I am very excited for this race, I have to say. What about you?
Quite interested back at Tier 3 as well, but Tier 1's going to be something magical. I can't wait to see what happens here. 17 turnouts only, but it's not bad considering it is Las Vegas. I know a lot of drivers want to avoid this track and boycott it, like I did when I had a league race around here. I just called it sick, like you usually do. I didn't want to race, but I think a few drivers tonight have called it sick, hence why we've got a few reserve drivers. But this should be a very interesting one. I can't wait to see how it goes. Could be plenty of chaos. Might see a lot of overtaking down that back straight because first place usually got swallowed up by 3 drivers, so that DRS down the back straight, 1.2 miles or 1.8 kilometers, is really powerful down there. So you might want to be careful when you're in the DRS train. You want to play it strategically, and car placement is really important too around this circuit, as it's easy to scrape the walls. But we are here for the second time in America, here in Las Vegas. Last time out it was Texas, and Tony has completely forgot where he's going and just outbroke himself at turn 12, where Lando Norris crashed back at the 2023 Las Vegas Grand Prix. So hopefully he won't replicate that. Well, it's Pyro, and luckily it was just his outlap too, so no harm done, no damage done either. But this should be a very interesting one. I like, out of all 3 USA Grand Prix, Texas is my favourite one. I'm not a particular fan of Miami. It's alright to drive, but in terms of racing and overtaking, it's not that great as we've seen in the past few races around that circuit. Here in Vegas, we all doubted it, of course, because it's all for show, all for money. I didn't really watch the build up to Vegas like I usually do because of all the Americans. It's the usual thing that Americans do. But we're on board with Pyro then. So watch his lap unfold as we head down towards the final corner. Here we are approaching turn number 1. Then let's see where he breaks, and want to hit that curb on the inside, which he just narrowly avoids, but won't do any harm. It is his first lap as we flick our way through to turn number 2. It just fed to the throttle there when he used all the track on the outside. He just tapped the wall on the exit, but won't do any harm as it was just his left front tyre. As we head down into turn 3, already 340 kilometers down into turn number 3 here, and let's see how it takes. You want to get as close to the wall as you can through turn 3, which he does do. Into this long left-hander we go, and now into the chicanes, which can be very difficult rear locking, but let's see how it takes it. Nice and slow, just picking up the throttle at the right time, just easing, just trying to get that traction you need out of corners. In second gear he'll took that too, which is very nice at the exit as we make our way now on this short straight then. I think we're heading down into turn number 12 because I haven't done much research. As we head into this left-hander we go. Now here's the braking point. This is very critical as well because it's such a difficult braking point. It's easy to misjudge, carry a lot of speed, hit the wall, and also it leads onto the straight where DRS will be enabled. His middle sector we should be coming up to very shortly. Will it be a 10 point something in middle sector? And let's have a look what he should do, because these guys were setting 10s in tier 3. It's a 10.1 in the middle sector as we reach speeds about 353 kilometers an hour. The highest I saw it was 358 in tier 3, but look at that. I think he took too much curb on the inside, and therefore the back end of the car just stepped out on him. So might have lost a bit of time there, but easily can rectify that mistake as we make our way now towards the line. The point we'd already used is a 32.5. I think we've almost beaten our tier 3 pole. In fact, I think it was a 32.8 our tier 3 pole, so we've already beaten it at these early stages qualifying, Bunnies.
Yeah, and that just showing the sheer difference between tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. Of course, the example you're giving tier we're driving alongside him. These drivers just exceptional. I think we're about to see 31.8 from Julian, so that is a good lap from the IRT driver in the Mercedes. I'm not sure. Leo Aries coming across the line, 31.653, an even better lap time, beating out Julian by 0.2 of a second, but another 10.5 up is Phil in the Haas. So some excellent lap times being put in, just continuously going faster and faster. AJ Lujan only in 5th, but IRT Frank going up into 1st in that Alpha Tauri. So a very good lap time from him there. And we're just seeing lots of lap times coming in. I think Seed just going into 7th there in the Ferrari. Kenny into 4th. And I think possibly Sweet Crown is next up across the line. We can expect big things from him. He comes across the line. It's only second, though, a 31.312, about half a hundredth of a second off of Frank. So that is a very, very close battle between the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri there. I'll be excited to see how that rolls out throughout the session.
Can Nathan JB also get involved on the act as well? Great lap time by RT Frank. He first appeared at the Hungarian Grand Prix, but unfortunately didn't go his way after contact in turn 1 with Total Peas. Here's Nathan in the middle sector. It's a 9.7 in the middle sector. We did go on board with Pyro's lap time. It was 5/10 quicker in the middle sector, was Nathan JB. Slightly misses turn 13. Turn 14 and turn 15 won a cut turn 14, which he beautifully executed. Turn 15 easy flat there. As we make our way now into this final left-hander we go. No DRS on the straight. He crossed the line now. It's a 31.6 for Nathan, so it's 3/10 away from the best RT Frank in P1 there. And Sweet Cloud surrounded by RT drivers with Phil in P3, Nathan in P4, and Leo Aries, I think, is an RT in P5 because one Leo left, then another one joined. In fact, both Leos are here tonight like they were in Mexico. I'm on board with some drivers that are heading back into pit lane, and hopefully they don't pick up a 5-place grid penalty for holding each other up. So here is Taupe. He's currently not on a lap time. He was, but I think he might have backed out of it due to a slight mistake, so he might be going for a second attempt, maybe a double push lap it seems, as he sets a 2:15.5 there. As we head down into turn 1 for the German driver, let's see how he takes it through there. Just being very careful in turn 1 because it's so easy to lose the back end of the car. And turn 2, oh, the back end of the car's going there, but he saved it. Very well saved there from Relentless Taupe. It's so easy to lose back end of the car, take too much roll, and you're in a spin or hit the wall. I commentated around here on a Tuesday league, and someone picked up the throttle way too early and smashed into the wall at turn 2, ending their qualifying. As we exit turn 3 into turn 4 we go. Now is the chicane. You want to scrub off all the speed here, and just be very patient with the throttle. Just get the car rotated, and yeah, bit of wheel spin on the exit there too. As we exit turn number 5. Back on the throttle immediately then as we come through the next complex of corners, and yeah, 38 seconds up on his first sector. So somewhere in the first sector, looks like he made a mistake, but easily rectified that one. As we head down into turn 12, hits the apex very nicely, want to avoid out the outside wall, and I think many drivers may be a victim of the outside wall like we saw in tier 3. Won't be surprised if anybody hits that wall approaching at such high speed. So as we build up the throttle there, approaching about 355 kilometers an hour. It's a 10.9 in the middle sector. We saw Nathan do a 9.7, so Taupe is slightly off the pace, it must be said, but hopefully as the qualifying continues he can build some confidence in the AlphaTauri, because look at that, the back of the car stepping out once again, so you can definitely tell that the rear end of the car not living with it every time he picks up the throttle out of the corners as he makes his way towards the finish line. It's a 33.3, so not the place he wants to be, but hopefully he can improve on his lap time. Then 8 minutes of qualifying has already gone. Oh, he almost lost it out turn 1 there, hit the wall. He qualified, could have ended badly for him.
Somebody has lost it because there was a front wing littering the ground there. It's Pyro actually. It's his front wing seems to have been the one there, because he is driving around without a front wing right now, going through turn 4, 5 possibly, I forget. The numbers here are very confusing with the turns. But yeah, the Aston Martin driver not in a good position for his second run already. We'll see who is though. Many drivers on their out laps, only a few on flying laps. Sausage Joe among them, going down towards the long straight, hitting the curb nicely there, but almost sending his car into a spin, just about saving it, fully on the throttle. And his ERS seems a bit low, so I'm not certain he is on a lap, but that might just be the effect of so many long straights here, using up lots of ERS. We'll see in a minute, I suppose. The Aston Martin driver hitting the brakes hard for this left-right-left section, just getting some snaps of oversteer. I wonder if his tires might be overheating even. Certainly not looking too planted through those corners. Through the last corner now though, he goes in 12th with a 132.7.
And here we are on board with ILT Phil, so his best lap time was a 1:31.5. He's currently going for a second lap time as he heads towards Terminal 3 then. ILT Phil, I think it's a new appearance here in CRL, so let's see what he does in his debut. Currently sat at P3, so doing a great job so far is the ILT driver in the Haas standing, so makes his way a bit of lock up on the entry there. I thought the rears were going to snap on him, but it looks like he saved it. Also with brake bias as well, I think you want to adjust it towards 56 and 57 just to make sure the rears don't step out on you, because that chicane there can really catch a lot of people out. Look at that, 2.5 tenths up already on his first sector, so this is going to be almost matching the pole if we can find more time in the middle sector as we head through turn number 12 then. So let's see if he can keep it nice and tidy out to the exit, which he does do, and let's see how much time is found in his middle sector as we approach this long back straight. Yellow flags as well in that sector, some people just slowing down, and let's see what he can do there. There's a Williams in the way which gets out of it very nicely there. It's 4 tenths up exactly in the middle sector, so Phil is currently flying, but watch out for Walter, watch out for Leo as well. They're currently on their fly laps along with ILT Frank. I was off board through turn 30, so I thought he missed the apex slightly as we make our way then out of the proper final corner. As we head through this left-hander we go, and let's see what lap times it's going to be. This is going to be pole for sure. It's a 30.9 or 31.000 exactly. Love to have exact lap times there. ILT Frank 1 tenth up in the first sector, and has he found any more time in his middle sector? Currently in ILT 1-2 so far, predominantly by ILT drivers and relentless drivers this league. Mercedes crosses the line, he goes P4, that's a 1:31.4 for ILT Ulead. I think both Red Bulls are next up. They're quite close together on their flying laps of both Red Bulls, but they orchestrate to the slipstream. I don't know if Leo and Walter are working together, but one of them's in the pit lane, and Sweet Cloud goes into P2 with a 31.027. Such fine margins around this circuit. And what can ILT Frank do? Can he get any closer? Can he beat his own lap time? We're about to see what he can do. It's a 31.3, so he does beat his lap time only by 6 thousandths, and ILT Seeb in the Ferrari goes into P4 with a 1:31.3. So Phil and Sweet Cloud in P1 and P2 looking very comfortable up there, but could anybody challenge him in this qualifying session? Nathan, I think he might have something to say about it. He's almost 1.5 tenths up in the first sector as he makes his way through turn 12. He goes nicely done out of that corner. Will he pick up a decent toe off the back of the Haas, who's currently on his out lap? I think Leo made a mistake on his fly lap, hence why he backed off and had to go back in the pit lane. What can Nathan do in this middle sector? The best is a 9.2, it's a 9.5. He's 2 tenths up in the middle sector is Nathan JB, and he heads towards the heavy braking zone at turn 13 then. Carrying a lot of speed, misses the apex slightly, cuts the corner and gets a decent exit, and let's see if he can put himself further up the field or try and get P3. P3 looks like the way to go so far, judging by the top two's pace. Here comes Nathan coming towards the line. It's going to be a 31.3, and he goes into P4. He's only 3 thousandths away from ILT Frank, so it's very close margins. I think Pyro's out of the session. He might have crashed out of turn 2.
Yeah, about 5 minutes left in the session, of course, so, ooh, wow, yeah, Pyro definitely crashing at turn 2. Nathan just having to take avoiding action there as he comes around the end of what is actually, technically speaking, turns 3 and 4. But, yeah, so very close there for Nathan, nearly hitting Pyro. Pyro out, of course, that's going to be 11th at best for him. Still 3 drivers yet to set lap times. I don't believe any of them have qualifying bans, but I could be mistaken about that, I admit. But of course, Nathan second in the championship as it stands. He'll be looking to challenge Sweet Crown a bit more, but 25 points off, it's not going to be an easy gap to close. Certainly the Red Bull driver looking in the better position in the championship. That being said, Nathan has a very sizable gap back to third, which is of course Ariel Pease, who I don't believe is racing today. Although that is unfortunate, I have to say, but nonetheless we have many great drivers here still. Nathan, Sweet Crown, of course, are our championship contenders, as I was saying though. I believe Nathan just coming into the pits now, so certainly things quieting down on the track. Ollie Durston possibly on a lap here, I believe, and through the end, or through part of Sector 1, Turn 5 there, up through Turn 6, sticking to the left, running to the outside for the entry of the next corner. The left-right chicane here, it's very common to see drivers missing it. And traction, of course, is very difficult around the entirety of this circuit, it must be said. And so yeah, going through right-left section here where we saw Lando Norris crash, he was 2.8 tenths up on his previous lap. So we'll see how it goes from here, and nearly hitting the wall onto the long straight. The Mercedes driver just about keeping it on the track. We'll see what Ollie Durston can do on the rest of this lap, as we also start to see some more drivers coming out of the pits.
Took an inside line there, Ollie Durston. Not seen many drivers do that before, but ILT German has retired in the pit lane. Not quite sure if he's got a qualifying ban. Bosch, Evans and Leo on their out laps. Interestingly, they're only going for one lap. I think Ollie Durston's upshifted twice, up to third to fifth, so he missed fourth gear, and that would definitely be, he would definitely get bogged down in the exit of that corner, losing a lot of speed, so that might have cost him a bit of time as he makes his way towards the line. It's a 32.7, he's a tenth down, or almost 2 tenths down of his previous best. So, like I said, a lot of majority of drivers on their out laps, ready to do their final laps. We're just waiting Sweet Crowd to come out of the pit lane. His teammate Leo Aries is currently out there, but I'm interested about Bosch, Evans and Leo coming out very late. I've not seen them once on the circuit until now, so this one lap only, can they put the lap together and try and get themselves front of the order? Because doing it one lap, you don't have a reference, you don't really have a feel for the track, and therefore you don't know, you just gotta send it, I guess, and try and find the limits out by doing that one lap only. They've been playing a lot of ACC, especially Bosch Evans there, so hopefully he doesn't get muddled up with that one. And Pyro, I know a lot of these boys in this lobby, including Nathan, AJ, who else? I said AJ, Pyro, Ollie Durston, Bosch Evans, a lot of these boys have been playing ACC, and hopefully they can get back to the F1 style. As we see, Leo Aries in the Red Bull go for his potential final flying lap. ILT Phil is out there too, so we might watch him because he's closer towards the line than Leo. So here he is then in the chicane. Might have misjudged it a bit, went a bit deep in the first part of it. As we head through this left-hander we go, get the car straightened up, back of the throttle, 31.000. If he gets to the 30s, that'll be very good for pole there. He's a 10th down the first sector is ILT Phil. So let's see how much time he's got left. Unfortunately, the yellow flag's out there, so I can't really tell how much time there is. Maybe he's saving the ERS. No, he's still kept it on, surprisingly. So I thought he'd be turning it off, cool the tyres down, or unless, yeah, 45 seconds left to go. I'm not quite sure if we'll get another lap time in. Back on board with Leo Aries as the Italian driver negotiates at the exit of turn 7 through that left-hander, and he's 3 tenths down already is Leo Aries, so he's lost a bit of time there, unfortunately for himself. ILT Frank, 6 thousandths up in the first sector, or on his best, sorry, so I was looking at the wrong graphic there. That was his best lap time, and I'm on board with him now to see what he could do in P3. Can he extend the margin? Bit of wheel spin out of turn 3 as we head with his left-hander at turn 4, approaching the chicanes at turn 5 and turn 6. Look at that. That's a lot of rear locking, that is, or front locking, and definitely sliding the car through there, which won't help with the tyre temperatures whatsoever around a lap. Usually people go around 90 degrees on their out laps to do a flying lap. That's the norm anyway. 3 tenths down the first sector, so he won't be improving on a lap time. Nathan JB, however, in fact, I think I'm looking at the wrong thing again. He's 3 tenths up in the first sector, but we're not even in the first sector just yet for Nathan, and he exits the corner. What can he do? Can he promote himself further up the order? And I think somebody else got up the order. That's Leo, up into P5. Great lap time there from Leo, considering he only had 1 lap to do it. Or, yeah, he only had 1 lap to do it. I'm not quite sure why he's done that. He's got a lot of soft compound tyres left in his disposal if he wants to use them in the race. But Nathan, what can he do then as he approaches now the end of the middle sector? And let's see then what's the benchmark going to be for him as he makes his way towards the end of it on this long back straight. It's going to be a 9.3. That's a 10th off the best middle sector we've seen so far. So can he try and recollect some time in the final sector as we head towards 13, 14 and 15. You can see Kenny. Wow, great lap time there for ILT Kenny. Puts himself up into P3, and that's a great lap time indeed. That's the highest I've seen him qualify so far for the whole entire season and last season too. Nathan comes towards the line. It's P3, takes it away from Kenny, but Speedcon is on pole position with a 30.889, and that seals the deal right there in Vegas. But what about ILT? Can't do anything about it, so he's not gonna improve on his lap time. But Sweet Crown takes pole, and ILT Phil in second place ahead of Kenny. Kenny in P4, Frankie in P5, Leo in P6, Seeb in P7, Julian 8th, Leo Aries in 9th place ahead of Chazza, Tope in 9th ahead of AJ, Pyro ahead of Ollie Durston, Sausage Joe 15th, and the two of them that did not do a flying lap, which was Bosch Evans and ILT German as well. It's going to be very interesting to say Leo versus Leo if they get close to each other on the track.
Yeah, and of course a brilliant lap time there from Sweet Crown, taking pole position in the end. Phil having to settle for second despite looking so good right from the start. Nathan pulling himself up to third. That's exactly what the Williams driver needs if he's going to try and keep some sort of a championship battle alive. And yeah, some really great performances all around the field. Kenny especially is quite notable, I'd say. I believe, as you said, hasn't qualified this high up all season. Leo with only one lap time taking 6th. That's very impressive. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to this race, but I have to say, I have to ask, who's your favorite to win?
If all goes well, I think Sweet Crown is the one to win because he's got some really good pace here tonight in Vegas, so he might be the one to watch out for throughout the entire race. But what about the others? Phil, Nathan, JB, Kenny, can they try and fight Walter? We'll see. Walter, our championship leader, our 2-time champion, I dare say could have been a 3-time champion if he didn't put himself at the back all the time and gave Relentless Nathan or George Russell the wins. He's currently first in the championship, leading Nathan by 25 points. That's a whole race victory in terms of real life points, but obviously the point system here in Cone is very different. Leaves by 25 points. Pease is a P3. Pease and Jewel Bream are not here tonight, so this gives a big opportunity for Kenny to put himself in third in the championship because Kenny's doing a really good job so far this season. Currently 5th. He's only 2 points away from P3. He could catapult from P5 to P3. CRL Bompia, another driver's not here tonight. Leroy's not here tonight. Seeb 8th in the championship. Reservoir, by the way, is Ollie Durston. He's 9th in the championship. AJ is 10th, Chazza in 11th, and Pyro's in 12th place ahead of Bosch Evans. George Hargreaves not here tonight either. Tope's here. Leo Aries in 16th. Ferg not here tonight. German in 18th. Cross Liam's not here tonight. And Eero Strange. One of the 3 drivers on pit stop points this season. German, Cross Liam and Strange. So hopefully they can. And the formation lap is on. So we can have a look at what tyres they've gone for here in Vegas. So as you can see for yourselves, Kenny on the medium compound tyres looking to go for an optimistic strategy, and the rest of them from P11 downwards is on the medium compound tyres. So is that the usual strategy, Bunnies?
Yeah, it's hard to say at this track, honestly. There's so much potential for safety cars that there's no real strategy that's necessarily incorrect, unless you're using inters or wets in a dry start, but that's about the only exception to that, of course. But softs, mediums, hards, any of them are really viable tires, all things considered. I would honestly... Oh, that's Julian spinning out of turn 5 there. Reset to track. Of course, it's just this formation lap, so that should be fine. Luckily, no drivers getting disqualified. He will not like that or more to the point, that will not be a confidence boost for him. But yeah, strategy-wise, I do wonder if Kenny might be... I get the sense medium-hard might be the better strategy here, just depending on when safety cars come out. I'd say, certainly if there are any safety cars at any point, as Julian and Bosch Evans getting disqualified from the formation lap, so that's not optimal for them. But the medium-hard could be the better strategy, but it's really all dependent on when the safety car comes out. If it comes out after, say, 5-10 laps, the mediums might have been the better tire, because you might be able to switch onto the hards and drag those out to the end of the race. I've certainly seen some drivers go very far on the hards at this track. Comparatively, if a safety car were to come out with, say, about 15 laps into the race, then it might have been better to start on the hards, because you'll have the mediums go to the end. So it just depends on safety cars, I'd say. There's no inherently correct or incorrect strategy for this race.
So a few more get disqualified, including Sweet Crown, and apparently ILT Julian and Bosch Evans came together. I think you mentioned Julian spinning, and he might have tapped the back of Bosch Evans, causing them both to disqualify. So they'll be sat there on colder tyres. But for the likes of Leo and Sweet Crown, it won't matter much because they're already at the grid and won't lose tyre temperature. More getting disqualified, as you can see there. Some people having to start a bend, so turn and accelerate at the same time won't be any good for them. But here are the lights, then 4, 5 lights, and we await for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. AlphaTauri has not started, that's fine, so he's got caught napping already. But here we are, down into turn 1. ILT Phil up the inside of Sweet Crown. Can he stick around the outside? Yes, he can then, as we make our way now into turn number 2. Looks like Phil's taking the lead immediately, but Sweet Crown on the inside already. Here comes Kenny as well on P3, looking to go down the inside, trying to go alongside with the Haas driver, but he can't do so. Now, Phil's second opportunity to try and get Sweet Crown down into turn 3, but he can't quite do so. We'll have to settle down there into P2. I can see a few drivers weaving, so might have got cold tyres, but there's an AlphaTauri down the inside of the Ferrari. That was Relentless Taupe, I think. Both AlphaTauris are close to each other as we head down through turn 6 and turn 7. You know what? Respect to all 17 drivers, because I don't want to jinx it too early. They made it out all unscathed. We're not seeing any obvious contact from any of them, and that was beautiful racing from all 17 drivers there. Respect there, especially from the top 2 as well. We saw Verstappen and Leclerc going side by side after Leclerc took pole position back at Las Vegas, and Verstappen pushed him off the track. I think he got a penalty for that too, I'm not quite sure, but the top 2 kept it nice and clean. Kenny and P3 on the medium compound tyres will be looking to capitalise, and here we are then, all 17 drivers pointed the right way on lap 1 here in Vegas. Brilliant stuff indeed. On the back straight we go.
Yeah, and I was about to say it, Kenny, it is absolutely vital that he capitalizes on the 2 drivers in front of him as soon as he can. He is on the mediums, of course, actually lifting off down that long straight, not going for a move on Phil, but Phil really struggling for traction at certain points around this circuit. I've seen on this first lap, out of turn 9, for example, he nearly lost the rear end. But that is Sweet Crown leading us across the line after our first lap. Gernman getting past Pyro. Sausage Joe getting a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so I wonder if he picked up some front wing damage. And of course I'd be interested to take a closer look at Sieb, who I know hit the wall right off the start, trying to avoid a slow-moving AlphaTauri, who is slow again. Ariel Pope losing a lot of positions down this straight here. Gernman just having to sit behind him for a moment now, but I wonder if he'll be looking to make an overtake on Taupe at any given moment. Round the outside even, he hits the wall. Just not quite enough space there to make the move, but going for it anyways. The Ferrari driver needs to try and be careful from here on out. He's going to risk damage if he keeps doing that sort of stuff. Not sure if he did pick up damage there. Nothing visible certainly. But up in front, it's only 2/10 between Phil and Sweet Crown. Phil with an excellent run down the long straight. He's going to go down the inside of Sweet Crown, down the long straight. Kenny's going to be in the slipstream as well. Can Kenny do anything here? It's Sweet Crown and Phil side by side. Sweet Crown seemingly using more ERS, getting ahead. Kenny pulling out of the slipstream. Nothing he can do yet. Down towards turn 14. No overtakes between that top 3 quite yet. Nathan also sitting behind them, looking to see if there's going to be any opportunities for him. Leo as well, but it's chaos further back for the most part, as that's where a lot of the overtakes are being made.
He's so close behind him, I can't overtake him. There's DRS enabled on this lap. Kenny's desperate to overtake the top 2, being on the medium compound tyres. That slipstream so powerful, but not powerful enough for ILT Phil. He was behind him throughout the whole 1.2 mile straight, or 1.8 kilometre straight. And we've got some more battles in the midfield. You mentioned Taupe. Oh, Pyro there, getting past the Mercedes driver Ollie Durston. They finally got DRS, and ILT Phil has overtaken Sweet Crown. He's moved himself up into P1 then, and let's see if he can control the race. He can't pull away from those guys because the DRS is so powerful and their pace is matching too. Ollie Durston overtaking Pyro once again. Yeah, Taupe on the last lap got out of shape at turn 2. He lost the back of the car. Oh, contact! That's AJ Wuhan and Pyro getting involved in contact there. Ollie Durston gets a 5-second time penalty for cutting the corner as the virtual safety car is deployed. That was a similar move with ILT Gurman and someone ahead of him on the last lap. I can't even remember. That's
Taupe,
how long.
I believe.
Yeah, that's how bad my memory was. Taupe and Gurman did the same thing, but this time they both connected in the wall with AJ trying to stick his nose in, but unfortunately took out Pyro as Pyro tried to overtake someone but couldn't quite do it himself. So unfortunately for them, I think Pyro's got a broken end plate, and AJ has he escaped free. I'm not quite sure. He's dropped down into P15, but the safety car or virtual has neutralised things. There's a Ferrari without a front wing, by the way. Is that German? Yeah, it is German. He's lost his whole wing, so I'm not quite sure if he tried to avoid somebody and unfortunately got involved in some contact. And Taupe has overtaken Chazza for P9. Hopefully Taupe can fight back to the field because I know he's been struggling quite a lot. Oh, he hit the wall. And Frank has retired and the race has crashed. He's out of the Grand Prix and no safety car will be deployed for the time being then. So, LT Frank, in fact the Virgils came out.
Yep. Oh, and that's a very late call from Chazza to go into the pits there.
Naughty.
Cutting across the white lines there. Yeah, not what should be happening there. But the McLaren driver making it into the pits.
That's 2 virtuals we had already in 4 laps time with LT Frank out of the race. That virtual safety car was deployed really late as well. It usually comes out immediately after somebody crashes. So that game took his time, unless something else happened behind with someone losing their front wing, because virtuals and safety cars could come out quite easily with Davey scattered across the track as well. We see that in Tier 3 because there's only 3 retirements. 2 of them were in the pit lane. 1 of them was on track. We've had a lot of safety cars and virtuals despite only on 1 track retirement and 2 in the pit lane. So the safety car has came out to neutralise things. The virtual safety car, not good news for Kenny as he wants to make moves on those medium compound tyres. But here we are then. I think Leo was close to the back of Nathan at one point of the race as well, but they're all in one big DRS trade. And Taupe, he's managed to recompose himself after sliding out of turn 2 because he lost the back of the car. A lot of drivers went through, but he's back up into P8 all of a sudden, and DRS is enabled. Has ILT Phil got a good restart? He's pulled a 1 second gap on Walter, but Sweet Crowd was the detection point before that happened. So he's able to. Here comes Nathan Dean, here we go, side by side with him into turn number 13, and Kenny stays ahead for the time being. But yeah, Sweet Crowd's lucky because that virtual safety car could have ended badly for him as he was outside the DRS range, but luckily was in the detection point for the DRS. I'll get himself back in it. Looks like Nathan is under pressure from Leo right behind them. Leo in the Alpine, the Italian driver looking to make a move. That's the Romanian, sorry. The other Leo is Italian in P9, but can't quite make it stick.
Yeah, and I have to say that that VSC was very confusing for me. Taupe actually hit the wall just before Frank retired. So Taupe hit the wall, and then immediately a different AlphaTauri was spinning around with a wheel off, and I thought it was Taupe for a second. Unfortunately for Frank, it was him though. And we've got this train at the front with 6 drivers long, I believe. Is that 6? Yes. So that's 6 drivers. Everyone from Phil to Julian, all very close together here, and I'd say any of those top 6 are the ones fighting for the win, though especially, it has to be said, I think especially it's between Phil and Sweet Crown here. Sweet Crown in a decent position at the moment, but he's 4 tenths back, going onto the long straight with DRS that could be close enough for a move. But of course, some drivers sometimes choosing not to make overtakes down the long straight for the sake of just sitting in the slipstream, taking care of their tires and seeing what they can do later on. Let's see what Sweet Crown does down the long straight. Kenny as well. Really, all of this top 6 have opportunities here. It's going to be Sweet Crown on the inside, though, going for the lead. He takes the lead, and he is through on Phil, but Kenny now is going to look to see if he has any opportunities. He's a bit far back on this occasion. So I think it's just going to be Phil looking at Sweet Crown once again. The Haas driver going to want to get back past the Red Bull for the lead. Is he going to do it into turn 1 even? He's right there, but he doesn't decide to do anything. He doesn't even look to the inside or anything. So I think he's pretty comfortable sitting behind Sweet Crown at least until the next long straight, which could be this one here, actually. As he gets the DRS, he gets an exceptional run on the Red Bull. He's through into the lead again, down towards turn 5. There's a yellow flag somewhere. I think that is Bosch Evans, possibly? Oh, there's a VSC. What's happened here? It's one of the Alfa Romeos. It's AJ Wuhan. AJ Wuhan and Taupe.
Yeah, they're both spun, and Taupe is currently not going anywhere so far, but I'm not quite sure if those two made contact and as a result ended up in a spin. But the virtual safety car, look at that, the safety car's behind us as he pulls to the right side to let everybody go, and the safety car itself has came out, so this gives me a this gives the drivers and me a bit of an opportunity to go to the pit lane or go to the toilet, and option B is for me, so I'll be back very shortly.
So as Indigo there leaving us for a minute, I do want to just point out though that strategy gets very interesting here between the hard compound drivers and the medium compound drivers. Kenny, for example, the best example, up towards the front on the mediums. The tire's not very old yet, won't be very worn at this point in time, but depending on how long the hard tires can go, it's not impossible that those front runners could pit, even those on the hards if they want. Actually, I tell you what, everybody's coming into the pits. Phil and Sweet Crown, everyone, really. That is literally everyone, actually, so we'll see what they're pitting onto. It'll be interesting to see Sweet Crown, the first into their pit box. What is he putting on? He's putting on the mediums. Comparatively, Kenny is putting on the hards, so I wonder if the hards and the mediums could go to the end of the race from here. This track not super high on tire wear. There's only a couple corners here that really take a lot out of the tires. Those being turns 3 and 4, or what realistically is just turn 2. And I suppose there's probably quite a load of wear on the fronts in the heavy braking zones, which this track has a couple of, but overall this track not too bad on tire wear. Depending on how long the safety car lasts, these drivers could actually be alright on the mediums, but it's hard to say. I wouldn't expect the mediums to go almost 20 laps here. I suppose they might just be able to make it, but I'd imagine drivers will be in puncture territory at that point. Or it's possible, of course, that drivers are expecting to pit again and going for a 2-stop. Hard to say. We'll see how it goes.
Well, I think in Tier 3, a safety car came out this lap as well, lap 7 or 6, so the people that were on the medium compound tyres actually had to make another pit stop because the tyres were coming towards the end. I think it was lap 19 or 20 they made another stop as well, so it all depends how good you manage your tyres, of course. I know Sweet Cloud's really good at managing his tyres because I saw it at the Australian Grand Prix last season. I think it was Relentless Nathan as well, George Russell, who took the tyres quite a long distance as well, surprising me, after the hard runners couldn't really catch up despite going on the mediums a really long way into the race as well. So I don't know, mediums towards the end, it's a bit of a stretch, punchy territory like you said, but I'm not quite sure how good or bad this tyre wear is around the Las Vegas circuit here in America, but it should be very interesting. The Kenny on the hards could definitely go towards the end, but hopefully, for his sake, you don't drop off this train too much. He couldn't really capitalise on those medium compound tyres. It's a great start for him. He could go towards the end now of this race, but got to make sure he can stick with this train like he did in the first stint. But we'll see how the pendulum swings around in the races, and let's see if more safety cars come out, because if more safety cars come out, that'll help the medium runners as well, because they can go to the pit lane and put on a brand new set of mediums as well. I think Leo is the one to watch out for as well, because he only did 1 lap in qualifying. Was it Leo or Leo Aries? I think it was V10 Leo who did
Leo.
that. Leo or Leo?
V10 Leo.
Yeah, I think it was V10 Leo as well, who did 1 lap only.
It was Julian nearly hitting him there, actually.
I think Leo, who did the 1 lap in qualifying, if more safety cars start to come out as well, or virtuals, it could be in a really great position to put on a set of softs towards the end of the Grand Prix, knowingly that he's got a brand new set of softs in his disposal to use, whereas others might not, because they might have used all 3 sets depending how many runs they went on for. So we'll see how it all swings around later on in this race, but I think it's shaped up to be a really good race with Phil in P1. Like I said, mentioned him his first appearance here at CRL, doing a really good job so far. So where has he been the whole time? And currently doing a good job in P1. Kenny looking on course for his first podium of the season, I'm not mistaken, because he got taken away from him at the USA Grand Prix after Smalley Balls removed his penalty. Smalley Balls won back in Mexico, finished in 3rd place at USA. I think he got pushed off the track by rotation and he picked himself up a 3-second time penalty, but was able to remove it, and therefore Smalley Balls was able to reclaim P3. Kenny's best result so far is P4 twice, and let's see if we can go one better here in Vegas and get the jackpot to finish in P3. But plenty of laps to go. It's the same distance or same lap count as the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in Jeddah, 25 laps in Jeddah, and I think the tyre wear's not too bad around Jeddah either, but here in Vegas it's unknown for me because I've not really done many laps. I've only done about 1 or 2 laps around Vegas, then I quit because I couldn't do it. So yeah, I have no idea how bad the tyre wear around is here. And it was great for racing in real life, as it's proven to be, because there were so many doubters about Vegas, me being one of them, as it's all a show to try and branch out the sport to more America's side. We've only got 3 races in USA, and Vegas, Miami, and Texas.
Only 3?
Well, 3
That's
then.
a lot of races in one country.
I didn't mean to say only, but yeah, 3 races in one country. That's a good way to put it. Is enough. I'd rather have 1 race each country or different countries. Bear in mind that we've got Imola and Monza, 2 races in Italy, but the safety car is about to end then. So let's see what happens in this part of the race then. And Ollie Durst to the Pyro. Oh, there's a crash. There's a crash. That's Bosch Evans, who's lost his wing there, and he will have to make his way back into the lane. The surprise there's no penalty being dished out. He goes now, and he actually drops Sweet Card as well, left him in the clutches of ILT Kenny as we head down through turn number 1. Let's see if anybody is about to make a move into turn 1. Looks like they're all staying formation with Chazza going out wide, and AJ Wuhan around the outside of Chazza. Great move there as Chazza broke himself into turn 1. AJ was able to go around the outside into turn 2, made the move stick. Now Chazza's under pressure from the Ferrari of ILT German right behind him, my teammate in another league for the brand new season, currently in P11. ILT German, I think, has raced around here in Vegas a few weeks ago or a month ago, so he's definitely got some information to take on board into this race as we all make our way through turn 5 and turn 6. Looks like a clean start so far.
Between Bosch Evans and Pyro. Bosch Evans still without a front wing though, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought he pitted there, but he didn't. Looks like he was headed off into the pit lane last I saw him, but he has decided to stay out there. Pyro's behind him. Pyro's been involved in a few incidents in this race too, at turn 6 and turn 7, or turn 5 and turn 6, with AJ Wuhan. And here we are on this long back straight. No DRS enabled until 2 laps when it's activated. ILT Julian looks like he's close towards Leo, so let's see what happens there. Here comes the Mercedes on the LP driver, going wheel to wheel as they head down the long straight. It's going to be out all who's late to the brakes into turn number 13 we go, and let's have a look. Looks like Julian backed up, and Nathan had a wobble coming out of turn 13 there, and Leo looks like he has to back out. Here comes ILT Julian, gets a really good exit. He got bogged down by Nathan. ILT Julian takes advantage of that and puts himself up into P5. So Nathan looks like he's broke the train then from the top 3. Kenny did a great job to stay in P3 despite being on the hard compound tyres as we head down turn number 1. But ILT Julian gets tapped by Leo. Leo was changing direction, and here comes ILT Steve, will go around the outside into turn 2 ahead of Leo, and it's still wheel to wheel. Let's see which one of them can get out first. It is Leo in P2. Do you know what? I forget how long turn 2 is. And here comes Steve switching to the inside line now. Where is he? Oh, he's staying behind him. I thought he pulled out to right, but he didn't. Yeah, but like I said, I can't believe how long that right-hander is. I thought it was short.
Yeah, but I think with this battle really showing that's an Alfa Romeo. AJ Wuhan looking for a move on Leo Aries. I'll finish my thought in a minute, but this was a good battle between the Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull. The Alfa Romeo driver just having to back out in the end there, but it'll be right on the back of Leo Aries through this right-left and then onto the long straight. We'll see if he has an opportunity to make a move here. Sieb is the other driver in this group. It's very close to the one ahead. Leo not being able to pull away from him very much, so the 2 Leos under pressure from the drivers behind. AJ Wuhan, is he going to be able to make a move? It looks like Leo Aries is pulling away, but Sieb is going to be able to make a move. Leo falling down, and now it's going to be Leo and Leo in 7th and 8th, Sieb in 6th. But it's actually Leo's going to look at making an overtake on Sieb again.
Oh!
Can't move to... Ooh. What's up?
Yeah, Leo locked the rears up going into turn 13. He's lost the place towards AJ. Still struggling at the corner is Leo Aries, as he was trying to make it. He tried to defend from AJ but couldn't quite do so. And DRS has been enabled. This is bad news for Nathan because he's broken that DRS train, and therefore it might be a bit harder to get himself back in there. He had the 1 lap only after making the mistake to try and find a way back in the DRS zone. Another top 3. But actually, Kenny's dropped out the DRS range spot only momentarily. He has got DRS, but needs to make sure he can put himself there still if he wants a chance of trying winning this race. But if no safety cars come out,
Julian already going for a move on Nathan. So Julian up into 4th very quickly. Sorry for cutting you off there, but Nathan getting overtaken, the Williams driver. Ooh, he's going to go down the inside of Julian. Can he make the move? The 2 Mercedes-powered cars, one of them a works Mercedes even. can't just side by side, and Nathan can't push his way back through, but he's going to surely still have DRS down the long straight. We'll see if he has an opportunity there, or if he'll fall into the clutches of the Ferrari driver, IRT Seed. A great battle going on in this front-running section, this sort of front-running to midfield section here. We'll see if there's any moves. Leo still on the back of Seeb, but Seeb is much closer to Nathan. He's going to get the DRS. He's going to be on the outside. Sweet Crown getting ahead of Phil out in front, though. So much movement throughout the field. Seeb now gaining on Julian. He's going to go round the outside of him as well. Julian falling back behind Nathan as well. Nathan's going back past Seeb. Seeb breaks later. Oh, but he's outbroken himself. Nathan's going to stick his nose up the inside. He can't make it. Julian's going to make it back through. Leo bumping the back of Nathan. He's on the outside. Is he going to make the move as well? The Alpine driver does make it through. Nathan has to fall all the way back down to 7th. Julian under pressure from Leo. Leo looks to the inside. Not sure whether that was defense or overtaking there, but he maintains his 6th position for the moment. So much chaos going on here. AJ Wuhan on the back of it even. He's going to look at making an overtake on Nathan in a minute, I'm sure, but he's not close enough for the moment. No overtakes being made down into turn 5. And, wow, so much movement in the field on one lap alone. That was an incredible battle there, and I don't see it ending right now. I think they're going to keep battling. The top 3 all quite close together as well, though, just 5, 6, 7 tenths between them. So they are doing quite well to stick together in this race. Tier 1 always producing fantastic racing, even at a track like this. I know many of the drivers weren't thrilled to be racing here, but it is producing a fantastic race for us commentators and the viewers to watch. And down the long straight, Phil getting past Sweet Crown again, so the Haas driver back into the lead. Sweet Crown falling down to 2nd. Kenny is falling quite far back in this group. There's movement further back as well, as Leo getting past Seeb. I suppose that means he's falling behind Julian as well. So Seeb losing 2 positions down the long straight, and Leo Aries, I think, getting ahead of AJ Wuhan. So, what is this even? 1, 2, 3, about a 5-car train or so? This is an incredible battle regardless. And just at the back there of it,
oh no!
Taupe is out. So Taupe has retired in the pit lane, I believe. So no crashes there, presumably no safety cars or DSCs there. It's going to be Leo Aries looking for a move on Nathan. Can't make it through on this occasion. Leo, V10 Leo on the back of Julian. Gernman getting past Sausage Joe. Sausage Joe on the outside, that's going to turn into the inside, but he's going to have to back out. The medium tires paying dividends for the Ferrari driver. And up to the other Ferrari driver, still right on the back of Leo. Leo will look for a move on Julian down the long straight, I would imagine, but he'll have to watch out for Seed behind as well. Seed taking a much tighter line through that left-hander than the drivers around him. Nathan falling back, farther back slightly, all the way down to 7th for the Williams driver. As it stands, we'll see if he drops further back. He's going to indeed, it seems, as Leo Aries is trying to pull through, but he's got the slipstream, does Nathan, and that's V10 Leo through into 4th. Steve getting past Julian as well, so Julian dropping 2 positions. Nathan down the inside. I don't think that was intentional. He just manages to avoid contact in the end. Leo Aries not able to make a move on that occasion, surprisingly. AJ Wuhan still sitting on the back of this train. And further up, though, it is Seeb right on the back of V10 Leo. The battle that just keeps on giving, this is. Ooh, that's locking the rears as V10 Leo. Leo just barely kept the car going. I have no idea how he's done that. That is an incredible save, as Julian now looking round the outside of Seeb, seeing how compromised he was by Leo's wheel spin there, or locking the rears, whatever it was that sent the rear end out like that. Either way, Julian making an impressive move there, very opportunistic, and there was a thought I wanted to finish much earlier in this battle that I never got the chance to do. This battle really showcasing just how opportunistic the drivers in CRL are. They see any opportunity and they go for it, and they make the moves quite well too. It's just incredible to see. This league is so brilliant at bringing in drivers
no,
who just make moves like that.
Phil's just spun going into turn number 12. He locked the rears up. He was sliding and he's fallen down into P3. Further in the background, I saw V10 Leo also lock up the rears. I was about to say, I've seen a lot of drivers lock up the rears. That looks like a reoccurring theme on the whole grid. And ILT Yuli then is on the back of V10 Leo, and here he just flies past him with the power of the DRS and the switching. Further back, we can see Nathan defending from Leo Aries as we make our way down into turn 13. Leo Aries lays the brakes, just letting off the brakes there to brake later, make contact slightly, and Nathan's still ahead. But this is incredible. All these drivers fight it out here in Vegas. There's been so many position changes in this field. ILT Kenny in P2, 4 tenths away from Sweet Card. I think those hard compound tyres could be in good shape, you know, and Leo Aries down the inside of Nathan, but not enough room to do so. I was about to say 2 laps ago that V10 Leo was putting pressure on Julian and Leo Aries was putting pressure on Nathan. All these drivers continuously swapping positions here in Vegas, but you know what? I think ILT Kenny is in the best position here in terms of being in P2 alone with Sweet Clown. He can play Sweet Clown as much as he likes unless a safety car comes out, which it does. Wow.
Well
Okay.
timed there. Yeah, it was just Pyro crashing there from the looks of things, causing a safety car. Not what the Aston Martin driver will have wanted. But Kenny, yeah, we'll see how this plays out for him. It's really hard to say. Sausage Joe just pitted onto soft compound tires, so he'll be a bit disadvantaged by the fact that he pitted right before the safety car. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see here what's going to happen amongst these drivers. And something I wanted to point out earlier but didn't get the chance to is if there's any IndyCar fans watching this race, I have to say Kenny's helmet looks IRT Kenny's helmet reminds me a lot of Colton Herta's helmet. Sort of an unrelated comment there, but I wanted to point that out. The color scheme, very similar. The red, blue, and black on that helmet, and the general design as well. Nice looking helmet for sure. Sweet Crown into the pits, followed by Kenny. I think everybody's going to be into the pits here. We'll see what they pit onto. Sweet Crown will be the first into their pit box, so worth watching what he puts on. It's going to be another set of the mediums, I believe. It does appear to be. What about Kenny? Off of the hards onto the softs. Kenny putting on a pair of soft compound tires. So does Julian. So do quite a few drivers, actually. I wonder, can the softs go about, by the time the safety car comes in, about 8 or so racing laps? 7, 8 racing laps? That will be a bit of a stretch, I think. They won't be feeling great by the end of it, but I think they can probably make that. On the other hand, though, Sweet Crown, not in a bad position on those mediums. They will definitely make the end of the race, no problem. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this strategy turns out. Very interesting to see the split on strategy, though. Phil, Sweet Crown, and Nathan on the mediums, comparatively just about everybody else on the softs. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. Kenny still might be in the best position to win, unless that's trickled down to Sweet Crown. It's hard to say. It just depends on whose tires are better come the end of the race, I think.
We'll see, and this brings an opportunity for all those in P4 downwards to bring back and bunch up the whole field again, because the reason why they were so split apart in P4 as Bosch Evans and Ollie swapped positions again, but the reason why they were all separated is because of that Nathan moment down at turn 13 where he locked up the rears and therefore caused a whole sequence of events of fighting out for P4. 5 different drivers fighting for P4, constantly changing positions, and they kept dropping away from the top 3 as it was. But Phil, it's good for him too, you know, because he's back in P3. That mistake, this could bring him back in the race. That mistake could have ended his race right there and then, because it's so difficult to get back in the DRS around here, especially in Vegas, because you've got the long straights. Exit at turn 2, exit at turn 11, or turn 12 I must say. But here he is then. This gives a golden opportunity for Phil to be back in this race. ILT Kenny, like you said, can those soft compound tyres go towards the end? I'm not quite sure, because the mediums, well, they look like they're faded away in tier 3 with only 13, 14 laps on. We've got 9 laps to do on the softs, including these safety cars too. So could they go towards the end? Is ILT Kenny in a great position to get his first ever win in CRL? We've got a few more diving the pit lane, by the way, which is Chazza, Ollie Durston and Bosch Evans. Those three, or those two, are usually driving around in ACC, so I'm not quite sure if they're at one with their racing cars yet, because it's so completely different from ACC to Formula 1. They are very quick in F1, but I think Ollie Durston has focused his attention more to ACC than Formula 1 itself, and he was very quick when he raced in F1, but obviously hasn't raced for a long time. Maybe it's just Vegas in general, maybe I'm just waffling, and he could still have the pace he has before, but just not here in Vegas because it's such a difficult track. But can't wait to see what happens now at this phase of the race with different tyre strategies going on. Where has the pendulum swung? Has it swung towards the medium runners like Nathan, Phil and Sweetcrown? Will the mediums be better towards the softs towards the end? The answer is yes, but how bad would it be the softs be towards the end of the Grand Prix? If Kenny does overtake Sweetcrown, will he be able to pull away, and can he keep the gap between himself and Sweetcrown before the end of the race and keep those soft tyres alive? So this could be very interesting then. Let's see if the softs are the better choices. If not, it looks like Sweetcrown and Phil made the wrong choice. Could get swallowed up by the soft runners as well, mind you, but it all depends how fast they go forwards, because I remember Kenny on the medium compound tyres didn't really capitalise on those meds, but on the hards it looks very handy indeed on those hard compound tyres, keeping up with Phil and Sweetcrown. And I dare say, I think Kenny didn't want the safety car to come out, in all honesty, because he could have took those hards towards the end. Sweetcrown's tyres would have died and faded away towards the end of the Grand Prix too. So I think he was in the best position for the safety car came up. But now we'll see if he's in the best position on those soft compound tyres, take them towards the end and have the overall pace to try and overtake Sweetcrown and win this race. But let's see what happens as well, because P4 downwards had a great fight and like so many position changes, 3 abreast moments on the straight, and safety car is about to come to the end of the pit lane, and we're about to go racing for the second time I think under the safety car, as we've had virtuals as well during this race. So lap 17 heading on to 18. ILT Kenny on those soft compound tyres needs to make his way past Sweetcrown and pull away. You best hope as well that those soft runners behind him also overtake the likes of Phil and Sweetcrown. And he's away then, so he's left Kenny lapping, and we're going on to lap 18 out of 25. Not many laps left to go in this race as we go into turn number 1 then. Looks like nobody's about to make a move. It's turn 1, Leo Aries on Nathan, or Nathan on Leo Aries. Here we are, into turn 2 we go, with Leo on the inside, but Nathan can carry a lot more speed around the outside as Leo was put into a acute angle and therefore couldn't get the exit he needed. But he might get a good run on Nathan into turn 3.
Yep, and Kenny also getting a good run on Sweetcrown, but not able to make any moves himself. Kenny will be looking to get ahead of Sweetcrown very quickly, I would imagine. He doesn't want to be put under too much pressure from Phil. That being said, Kenny needs to manage his tires. It's going to be a stretch to bring his tires to the end of the race in good health. I have no doubt that he can bring the softs to the end of the race. It's just going to be a matter of doing so and having them last comfortably. They're not going to be looking pretty come the end of the race, so we'll see what he can do. He's on the back of Sweetcrown now. He's much closer to Sweetcrown than Phil is to him. He's going around the outside. Kenny takes the lead of the race in the McLaren. We have a new leader in this race. We'll see if Sweetcrown can sit in the slipstream, maybe even make his way back into the lead. For the time being, he's just going to sit behind Kenny. So I wonder if Sweetcrown might be hoping he can force Kenny to use up some of his tires. Oh, there's chaos further back. Gurnman into the wall. Sausage Joe caught up in that as well. That is the Ferrari and the Aston Martin dropping way back down behind the rest of the field. Kenny setting the fastest lap of the race. On the lap, he takes the lead. Bosch Evans into 9th, making it past his teammate AJ Wuhan. AJ staying around the outside of turn 1. He's going to try the inside for turn 2 though. He's going to make the move. Excellent battling there from the 2 Alfa Romeos, managing to keep it clean as well, which a lot of drivers have admittedly struggled to do today. Barring that incredible battle between about 5 drivers who all did manage to keep it clean, but lots of chaos so far. These 2 Alfa Romeos still battling it out, still keeping it clean as well. Very impressive driving and sportsmanship from the two of them.
I think Leo may have tapped the back of Julian going down to turn 6 because I felt a hit from behind and his car was almost out of shape, but luckily he collected it and could still put pressure on fell ahead of him. But those two medium runners haven't really fallen down the order, you know, because the DRS is so powerful around here. They might be able to stay in DRS range, and therefore Kenny might not be able to pull the gap he needs, the 1 second gap to break the DRS. If he can pull 1 second, it'll be easier, but because the slipstream of DRS is so powerful, it's hard to do so. No matter what tires you're on, Nathan's ahead of Leo Aries, and Phil is closer towards Sweet Crown. So let's see if Phil makes a move going down into turn 13. No DRS on this straight. That gives Kenny one more opportunity to break away the DRS. Further behind, I can see Leo versus Nathan. As we head down into turn 13 we go. Looks like Leo has the advantage on Nathan so far, and Phil in P3. Let's have a look if he'll make a move on Sweet Crown. The gap is about 8 tenths, but Kenny on this lap, DRS is enabled. He's used a lot of ERS. He's used all of his deployment, has Kenny. He might be exposed now in this race with 5 laps left to go. He tried to pull away while he had the chance, maybe a bit too late now with the DRS being enabled. You can see Phil very close to the back of Walter, and let's see if we make a move down into turn 3. This could be good if Sweet Crown could stick in the DRS to Kenny, because it'd be impossible to pull away even on the pressure tyres that Kenny has on that McLaren. As we head down into turn 3 then, you can see Julian in P4 not really capitalising on those soft compound tyres, and German is not happy in the chat as he got put in the wall by Sausage Joe as they met in the wall together. As we head down into turn 7 we go. That 5 car battle for P4 was incredibly. I really enjoyed that, and Nathan and Leo can't leave each other alone. They've actually broke the DRS then. Leo is on the soft compound tyres but can't seem to dispatch Nathan and join the rest of the group who are on the soft compound tyres along with him. But here we are on the long back straight then. Sweet Khan has managed to stay in DRS range of Kenny despite being on the medium compound tyre, but he is under pressure from Phil ahead of him or behind of him. So let's see if Phil decides to go for an overtake on the straight. This could be bad for Kenny, you know, derating, because Sweet Khan and Phil have a lot of ERS in their disposal, so therefore later on they can use Kenny as a slipstream provider and overtake him later on. Kenny could be exposed towards the end of the Grand Prix, so what can he do there on the soft compound tyres? He might have to think about now just saving ERS. He can't pull away due to the power of the DRS in both DRS zones, and RT Julian is under pressure from V10 Leo. Here we are side by side into the final corner we go, and Leo sets the fastest lap of the race. Looks like he's got some decent pace, but Julian lays the brakes there, still on the attack, and he overtakes Leo back up to P4. He goes. Leo almost lost traction going into turn 1, headed out in turn 2 there, but stays in P5 for the time being.
Here comes Sweet Crown. I want to point out that on the long straight on the previous lap he gained 7 tenths of a second on Kenny just with the DRS. An unbelievably long straight there, arguably too long, but nonetheless 7 tenths is the gap that you can gain. You could probably gain more if you really have used your ERS down there, but yeah, so that is Sweet Crown gaining a lot of time on that occasion. Phil also right there. Everybody with DRS will be hugely advantaged down that straight. So that is the entirety of the top 6, of course, barring the leader of the race, Kenny. We'll see what Sweet Crown can do on this occasion. Will he be able to overtake Kenny? Will it be Phil? We have to wait and see for just a few more seconds. It's Phil gaining on Sweet Crown, Sweet Crown gaining on Kenny. The Red Bull driver goes to the inside. Phil has so much more straight line speed, though. He goes to the inside of both of them. He's going to go for the lead from 3rd position on those medium tires. He's on the inside. He hits the brakes just about perfectly going into that chicane at the end of the long straight. Sweet Crown stays in 2nd, but he's going to go to the inside for the last corner. He's not close enough to be making any moves, but he might look for it into turn 1 on the inside. He doesn't even really think about it too hard. Kenny has to stick behind these two for the moment. He is on the soft compound tires. If he can manage well, he can probably get ahead of them with the DRS. That being said, all 3 of those soft drivers, Kenny, Julian, and Leo, all on very little ERS. We're seeing the difference there as Steve, with about 70% of his ERS, gets past the Leo. He'll be looking to get past the Mercedes of Julian next. Sweet Crown and Phil up in front, though.
Oh, Julian spun! He just locked the rear brakes, headed into turn 6 and turn 7, and he has spun and hit the wall, but I don't think he has any damage as he fully hit it with the nose itself. Now he's lost his wing, and he's taken out Chazza as well. Oh, yeah, it's not going well for Yulia whatsoever. So, second time spinning, and Chaz has lost his wing due to no fault of his own. So he'll be one frustrated man, or CPI Chazza, and will be headed off into the pit lane then. So Julian is now out of the equation, and Seeb in P4 looks like he could be on course for a podium, but he's just in the DRS zone as Kenny in P3. What will Kenny do at this stage? 3 laps left to go. He's the only driver in the top 3 D-rated on the straight. So will he stay behind those two, regenerate some of that battery, and attack them later on in the Grand Prix? Because that DRS is so powerful. No matter how bad your tyres are, you can still get them, even with the power of the DRS down the straight. But we'll see how tactics are involved as well, because you don't want to be first in the last lap of the Grand Prix, otherwise you get swallowed up. And we'll see how these guys sort themselves out later on. Will there be any games? Will some drivers let each other go? I think I remember this back at Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, where Rudy let some drivers go and get the DRS for himself. So I would not like to be first in the DRS trade at all around here in Las Vegas, because you just get absolutely swallowed up, no matter how good your straight line speed is. And RT Julian has retired in the pit lane, unfortunately, after spinning out and taking out Chaz's wing. Chazza, has he pitted? No, he's still out there. Has Chazza maybe just not bothering pitting because there's only about 2 laps left to go, but he's got a lot of straight line speed now. Has the McLaren driver.
He's battling someone else who decided to go a couple laps without a front wing earlier in the race. So hopefully Bosch Evans will understand what Chaz is struggling with right now. But up in front, I'd say any of that top 4 does have a shot at the win, although Seeb has actually dropped off the back quite a bit of Kenny since I last took a look at that front-running group. Nonetheless, Kenny, he's saved up a lot more ERS than he had before. Of course, not as much as the front 2, but he's got a lot more than he did last time we looked. So Kenny might still have a chance on these soft compound tires. He's a bit far back. It's going to be Sweet Crown sitting behind Phil. Sweet Crown's going to go to the inside. He's lifting off. He doesn't want to take the lead of this race. I've seen this before. The first ever race I did on this game was here at Las Vegas. I was running in about 5th position, going on to the last lap, about 15-20 seconds off the leaders. I was only a couple seconds off them at the end of the lap because they spent half the lap going as slowly as they could. Neither of them wanted to lead onto the long straight on the final lap. One of them finally blinked and went first, and he lost the lead on the long straight. Nobody wants to lead the final lap of the race at Las Vegas, going on to the long straight. So we'll see if Phil maybe even pulls some tactics trying to lose the lead before then. But Sweet Crown, I'm sure, won't want to take the lead. We'll see. There's 5 drivers up at the front here. V10 Leo just a little bit further off the top 4 than they are from each other. It'll be interesting to see how this last lap and a half goes for these front-running drivers.
I don't know on the Las Vegas straight onto lap 24 if Phil decides to lift off and let Wild to go. You never know if Kenny and Seek will take the lead here, because those two might just lift off on the straight. Here we are. What will happen on lap 12 here? And here in Vegas on the Las Vegas Strip, 1.2 miles, that's how long this straight is. Kenny's on the back of Sweet Crown, but we know Sweet Crown won't go for it on the straight, knowing that one more lap of this, and we'll see what happens here. Will Kenny try and put himself in between himself and Sweet Crown? Here we are then. Looks like Kenny might be going for it. You can see Sweet Crown gaining. He takes the lead of the race. Here comes Steve. He might take 3 of them on, but it takes 2 of them on. He's actually overtaken them both. He could be the leader last lap. No, he can't, because Phil's in P2. C came out of absolutely nowhere. None of them were willing to lift off. They will all go for it. And now, Sweet Crown could be vulnerable on the straight there, with Phil in a prime position to get him into turn 13. This could be a thrilling last lap. Steve, with a lot of straight line speed, a lot of slipstream, overtook Kenny. Kenny's dropped into P4, so his podium chances could be gone. But you never know what can happen in this last lap. Can Steve win this Grand Prix? What about Kenny? What about Leo? Any of the top 5 could win this Grand Prix, depending if you keep it nice and clean. You can see Phil turned off his ERS there. But the thing is, though, by doing that, Steve might be coming through.
Into second. This may sound insane given he's in 3rd on the final lap, but I think Seed might have the best chance at the win here. The Ferrari driver, we've seen so many times throughout this race, drivers in the DRS overtaking 2 drivers down that final straight. Sweet Crown is on 100% ERS. He knows what he has to do. He has to burn up all of it down that long straight. He's trying to build up a gap now, but what really matters is down the long straight after this. He's used nearly 25% just down that little flat out section. Now, onto the long straight. Who will it be? Of this top 4, any of them could take it. Heck, any of the top 5 could take it. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, indeed, and Phil has activated the DRS now. Let's see if he can gain a lot. You can see Sweetcrown defending the inside line. Here comes Phil using all the DRS he has in his battery. He pulls to the right hand side. Can he take the lead of the Grand Prix? No, Sweetcrown has it covered on the inside. Phil there outbreaks himself. Might give the place towards Sieb. And let's see then. Phil gets a bad exit. Sieb gets a bad exit too as he wobbled out the corner. Here comes Kenny. Kenny will try and take a podium back from Sieb. Can he do it though? As they go down into the final corner we go. Sweetcrown will win Vegas Grand Prix ahead of Phil. Sieb in P3 ahead of Kenny. Kenny's lost our podium. Leo finishes in P5 ahead of Nathan. Leo in P7 ahead of AJ Wuhan. CPI Chazza will finish in P9 without a wig. Still in P9. Great job there from Chazza. And Ollie Durston will finish in P10. Bosch Evans in 11th place with Sausage Joe in P12 ahead of ILT Gerben. But what a race that was. Phil recovering beautifully after almost spinning at turn 12 and back up into the podium in P2. Sieb essentially coming out of nowhere to finish in P3, wasn't running the top 3 the whole race until the final 2 laps, and that's what happens with the power of the DRS. Sieb came out absolutely nowhere to finish in P3. Kenny in a reluctant P4, it must be said, looking to win this race now and then, looking to finish on the podium. Now he finishes in P4 for the 3rd time in a row, so he'll be looking to break that streak. Leo in P5, Nathan JB struggled a lot in this race too, with the rears locking up, and finishes in P6. Leo in P7 there, ahead of AJ Chazza 9th, Ollie Durston 10th, Bosch Evan 11th, 12th, and German 13th. But yeah, what a sensational race that was. And the top 2 in the medium compound tyres finished 1st and 2nd as well, but I don't think that's due to tyre wear. I think it's just down to the DRS, the straight line speed and the taxes they played. But Sweetcrown defending the inside line, played it beautifully. Like, I don't know how Sweetcrown does this, by the way, because just always finds a way to win a Grand Prix. I don't know how he does it, just something about him that he's so clever, he's so good with tactics, he knows what to do, he doesn't fumble under pressure like most drivers would, he doesn't go for rash moves, he doesn't defend wildly either, he just manages to he just knows when to defend and how to defend, and defended the inside line beautifully. And there it is then. He didn't do any dirty tactics either, he didn't wait for the DRS, he didn't slam on the brakes either. That's a full deserved win for Sweetcrown in P1 there, and he'll extend his championship lead. But what a debut for Phil in P2, and Sieb will finish in P3, so great drive from Sieb as well. Another podium, I think, on his tally. I think it's his first podium of the season because he lost that in Hungary. So yeah, it is his first podium of the season. So congrats, Sieb, for his first podium of the season. That must be really good in Vegas. And Kenny tries to go for his first podium of the season. A lost start too, unfortunately. That's the 3rd time in 3 races he's finished in P4, like I mentioned. Great drive from Leo in the Romanian. Great drive from Leo from the Romanian driver in the Alpine. Displayed some great racing too. Nathan in P6, Leo Aries in P7. Overall, I think this was a fantastic race. And the best driver came out on top, which was Sweetcrown, who kept it nice and clean. I don't think he made any mistakes throughout the whole entirety of the race.
Yeah, that was really some absolutely incredible racing there, I have to say. I'm so impressed with so many of the drivers. This was just genuinely phenomenal racing. Sweetcrown defending that lead on the final lap, that was very impressive from him. Phil taking 2nd, Sieb coming out of nowhere. I was thoroughly entertained for that entire race. Las Vegas doesn't always throughout phenomenal races for league racing, but I tell you what, this was absolutely a phenomenal race, and I'm so glad to have been back commentating for the league again this week. I'm back, I'm full-time, so I've missed a few races, but I'm back, and this was a fantastic way to come back. Thank you to all the drivers who competed. That was just some phenomenal racing there. Genuinely great.
I agree as well. That safety car changed it all though, and it put them on the right strategies too. I think if that safety car didn't come out, I think Kenny would have been in a best position to win the race, but on the hardcore part tyres where the medium runners would have faded away. But that safety car changed a lot of things, and I think the softs and mediums were quite equal, especially with the slipstream as well down that straight. So yeah, great driving indeed. I won't be doing any podium interviews, I don't think, so I'll probably do it next time. But if we start at 8 o'clock, I could probably do podium interviews, but we started late anyways today, so I can't do, unfortunately. But I want to say, buddies, after 3 or 4 weeks, it's nice to have you back, and I really do enjoy commentating with you, so thank you so much for joining me in the comments box tonight, mate.
Thank you for having me back. Be back for the rest of the season. Can't wait, honestly. Just brilliant league, brilliant racing, brilliant drivers, brilliant community. Yeah, can't wait. What is it next week, actually, for the race?
Portimao.
Portugal, wow. Okay, Portimao. That'll be quite the roller coaster, I'd imagine. So, looking forwards to that, I have to say.
Yeah, me too, man. I can't wait to see what Portimao has to bring. I remember Total Pieces drive from 18th to 2nd, and then unfortunately I think he got taken out by Ferg or Jeroen Visser at turn 3 or 4. He didn't get taken out, he got a 3-second time penalty because I think he got pushed off the track at turn 3. You know how track limits are at the exit of turn 1? That's the race I'll always remember. I think Shizu O'Reilly, Wouter, and I think George Russell, Relentless Nathan, had a great fight, I think a few seasons ago, when they had a scrap in Portugal for the race win. I think Shizu O'Reilly came out on top of it, or S7R O'Reilly. So we might see another great scrap here in Portimao. Next week, join us back for Tier 3 on Monday night at 7:30 for Portimao, and also Tier 1 next week as well on Thursday for Portimao at 8:15. We'll see you all next week. Take care, have a good weekend, and goodbye. Great race in Vegas. Both American races this season have been great. I don't think we have Miami on the calendar this season, but yeah, it's nice to be in USA for 2 weeks in a row. Now we move on into Portugal.